our good friend and the man that is out there fronting Poison, as he has done ever since Poison started and still kicking ass on the stadium tour, getting rave reviews. We are now welcomed by Bret Michaels. We now welcome Bret Michaels. How are you, my friend?
Eddie, my friend, I am doing awesome. How you doing today?
I'm good. You know, I just saw some video of you on TikTok that apparently, in addition to all your work fronting your solo band and Poison, that you also fix a mean RV.
Let me tell you something. You have any kind of vehicular problems, give me a call. I was laughing so hard because Pete came around the corner and I was underneath there and I was damn determined that this family truckster was I was gonna have full support underneath there for the storage. And
you were really getting your Pennsylvania on, working on an RV in the heat, weren't you?
Yin's up there working on that, are you? That's the most Pennsylvania I was. I was laughing. I go, Pete, you're laughing at me. Why don't you get in here and help me do this? It was great.
Are you good like that? Are you the kind of guy that can fix anything? Because I can't put a light bulb in, but are you good like that?
Honestly, this is how sad is this? But yes, when you live behind a dry cleaner for 3 years struggling in L.A., and when I say struggling, I mean I'm talking about sleeping bag, battling cockroaches, building your own area to sleep in. I'm fairly handy, oddly enough. I even did that show, Rock My RV, and we had an incredibly great time building them out. It was awesome.
So, you know, it's too bad you didn't know how to fix an airplane, because last week I was waiting to see you in Vegas at a private gig you were doing, and I get to the gig at 7:30. You guys were supposed to play at 8. I said to Pete, "Where's Bret?" He's on the ground in Kansas City.
This is no lie. He was only off by a little bit. We left from Kansas City, right? And we got up in the plane, and we're just going to leave it at this, a little problem. And luckily, Jesse has been flying forever, and he is incredible. And he turned that thing around, and we were right over Wichita. And I want to do a big shout out to them. They got that on the ground and started to fix it. And luckily, a friend of ours had the availability to bring almost the identical Ultra up, and we made it late that night. And full credit to you and to Pete. Pete, you inspired him. He went up and played for this private event. They did 2 sets. They were friends of ours, and they threw a hell of a party. I got there at 11, walked on stage, and we just went till early in the morning.
Yeah, no, it was a great time, and I'm sorry I had my son with me, so I would have hung out to see you, but I saw Pete go up and do it, and yeah, it was like a boxer getting ready to go into the ring. He's like, "Bret's not here. We got to run through songs." I'm like, "You got this, Pete. You'll be able to do it." And you got such a great solo band that they went up there and they killed it. I watched like 6 songs they did.
It was amazing. And like I said, this was a friend of ours that throws these little private parties. It was something we were doing. And honestly, I go back to this. I've been blessed to have great people around me, great friends, but also really talented musicians. They went up there, and you inspired him. He said, Eddie fired me up, and I went up there, had a few shots. We'll leave it at that. And him and the band went at it. And I told him, look, have a great time. Grace of God, I'm still here on the planet. Everything worked out right. And we got there, did the show, and flew right back to perform again with Poison the next day.
You know, you weren't there, but Pete said something really funny, because you've got these backdrops that are photos of you up on the stage. And when Pete came out, he said, "Clearly I'm not Bret Michaels." He said, "But just stare at the pictures and you can pretend he's here until he gets here." You need a Bret hologram.
He does. He's also a comedian. His side work as a full-time musician and comedian, it's amazing. He does great.
And of course, we're talking about Pete Evick, who is Bret's longtime guitarist and a friend, and has also can sing great, and went up there and covered while Bret was dealing with those plane issues trying to get to Vegas about a week ago. All right, bud, so let me ask you about this, man. I got to tell you, and I'm being totally straight with you, and I mentioned this to you when I spoke to you on the phone last week. Since the stadium tour started, of course, everybody's loving all the bands. Truly, they are. But the one band that I have more people calling in who are of people who went to these shows that are walking out of there saying, wow, I was blown away, or wow, I didn't even go in as a big fan, but I came out as one, is Poison. Tell me how this whole experience has been for you on this tour. I know a second leg coming up, first leg in the books. How has it felt for you to be reconnected with the guys in Poison? You guys don't play all that often, and to be out there getting the response you're getting.
Well, first of all, to those that called in and said that, thank you, and the fans coming out, it starts with this. I'm doing a whole pictorial on this. There's a whole big story that rolls out before the 2 nights we kick off in Fenway this coming up weekend. And there's a whole big pictorial we're doing about this and about my gratitude. I just said, look, I can only speak from the feeling I have. And when I come out on that stage, I am beyond excited. I've got this incredible, let's call it unique, positive energy to also not just sing the songs, but tell the fans how grateful we are. And the first words out of my mouth are, we didn't get here alone. It's the best statement ever. The fans, the bands, the crew. And then again, I want to go back to this. The fact that we get to share that stage with people that I admire, I love. I would have bought a ticket to this, as I said many times. If I wasn't on this bill, I would have bought a ticket to the stadium tour. And, you know, to be up there with Def Leppard and Motley Crue, Joan Jett and the Black Hearts, and this new incredible rock band, Classless Act. Honestly, I say this, it's the best time of my life. I always have a great time. And we have a bunch of solo dates I do in between these at these festivals. But honestly, everyone out there, that crew, I need to tell the fans this. They are moving, Jamie and everyone out there that is doing this, they're moving an entire city. And think about this, a band ends, they're moving all of that gear off, getting the next band up, and to make sure that in the end, what matters is the fans have a great time.
Well, I mean, I think that there's a lot of things, and I've not seen a show yet, but I look forward to catching one. But I think there's a lot of things that are working towards Poison's favor in this. You've got a great slot in the middle of the day where people are still very fresh and energetic and excited to be there. But the other thing is, Poison, and I mean this in a good way, you guys are kind of like locusts where you show up every 5 years and then go underground again. So I think a lot of bands actually overplay where it's like once or twice a year it's like, oh, I can see them again and I see them again. But for you guys, it truly is special when you all unite and come together, and I think that comes into play a little bit as well.
1,000,000%. Here's why. Remember, we grew up, again, I could go into this over and over, but it's the truth. We grew up in a really small town, and then we had the chance to meet CC. He's from New York, but he moved out to L.A. We rehearsed, and that's part of this pictorial I'm doing this upcoming week. It's really personal photos. As I said, it all starts right here. We go back into a small rehearsal room and play nothing but good old-fashioned live rock and roll. And our friendship, that energy, all works. It's an incredible... We get on that stage, and then to add to your point, again, for Poison, I'm telling people, get out and see this because it'll be a couple years again, more than likely reunite in 25 and go back out there and just kick ass again and have a great time. And it's exciting and people get to see it. But here's the bottom line. We're 4 original members that all want to be there. That's all I can tell you. The other bands, every one of them wants to be there. They're putting on a great show. Each of us has a unique identity. And you're right. We get to play. People just got there. The buildings, I think what Live Nation was surprised about is the buildings are 90 to 100% filled when Poison's hitting the stage. And they're getting that first beer. You know, you're into your first or second beer. It's a good summer feel, and we're bringing out a good party. I mean, we're starting with Cat Dragged In, Ride the Wind, Talk Dirty to Me, and then just hit them with hits for 55 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I got so much respect for the fact that, yes, you guys are still the original band. You play totally live and real. You got Will Dowdy over there helping you out that does a great job, which is awesome. But the 4 of you guys still just, you know, plugging in and playing and really singing live, it's awesome. And I think it's great. Now, you mentioned people might not see Poison until 25 again after this. That's 3 years from now. Is there a plan for you? I mean, I know you work relentlessly with the solo stuff, but is there a definite schedule in place for what's going to happen over the next 2.5 years?
Well, again, for me, next year, I put it off this year because we didn't know this year if with everything going on in the world, we didn't know if the stadium tour was going to go. I prayed every day. I'm like, I hope this goes. I've been waiting since 20. First words out of my mouth, besides thanking the fans and the bands and the crew, I go, I've been waiting almost 3 years for this. We announced the stadium tour. But for me, this year, we were going to do the Party Girl tour. I put together something incredible, and now we're going to launch that in 23. And when I tell you what this is and the way we've designed it with everybody, it's an incredible amphitheater tour that's just going to be, again, I think it's going to be insane and going to be what we call it the all-thriller, no-filler summer party. And you'll know what I mean when it hits the stage. It's really an exciting idea.
Now, this is your own band or Poison that would do this?
Well, this would be my own band in 23. Okay. And then again, I just saying in 25 is probably when Poison will put a humongous world tour together and go back out and be incredible. And it'll be awesome. In 23, right now I moved. In 22, again, I want to explain my Party Grawl, this entire amphitheater thing we're doing in festival. We as soon as we knew we were doing a stadium tour, we moved that to 23, and we got to do the stadium tour, which is incredible. And the Poison standalone shows like we're going to do with you in Tulsa on, I believe, Saturday, August 20th. Yep. That's going to be insane. And again, we get to play a lot longer and put a lot more songs in the set.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. I'm going to be hosting a show with Poison, also on the bill. It's a great bill. Tom Kiefer, LA Guns, and again, that's August 20th, which is a Saturday, and that'll happen at the BOK Center, which is a great arena in downtown Tulsa. I was there for the first time hosting a Megadeth show a few months ago. My buddy Doug Burgess is the promoter, always puts on a great party, and that's going to be a Poison headline show. Those tickets are on sale now and almost sold out. And Bret, I know you've broken off and done a bunch of solo stuff on off nights of the stadium tour, but outside of this Tulsa show on the 20th, are there many other Poison headline dates or no?
There is. And I tell everybody, just go to BretMichaels.com or Poison.com and just what I want to tell people is it gives you the unbelievable great thing about the internet and social media. You can literally watch stuff, hear stuff, know stuff almost in real time, and I just tell people just go to BretMichaels.com or Poison.com and check it out. And they can get all that information, whether they're interested in the outstanding Poison shows or whether they want to check out the Bret Michaels Party Grawl that's going to be. We have a few of those select dates till the end of the year, but the big thing kicks off in 23.
Can you tell us who else will be on Party Grawl, or you're not ready to do that yet?
No, we know. We just don't want to say it yet. When you see the concept I wrote up, I think people. It's just a great. It's like I said. It's a all thriller, no filler, all original singer, nothing but hits that just is going to roll. It's going to be truly, when they use the words nothing but a good vibe or nothing but a good time, it is going to be that kind of night. And we're only going to pick select dates in all the amphitheaters, Live Nation amphitheaters, and then take it out to the festivals and everything along with it.
Let me ask you this. Another thing that I'm catching from people who have seen Poison on the stadium tour is how great the vibe is up there and all of that. Now, we all know that over the decades, it's not always been like that with the four of you. You've dodged a bass from Bobby on stage in the past and what have you. How is the vibe backstage and on stage for you and the four of you? Is everybody clicking?
Absolutely great. And you ready, Eddie? I know the fans are like, dude, I've talked about this before. We get along 99% of the time, funny, laughing, working out stuff for rehearsal, going through stuff. Unfortunately, with us, we're like brothers. It's like stepbrothers with the nick and the stick. You know what I mean? If you see that, hey, you touch my drum. Like, it's when it goes bad, we don't know how to go in the middle. We don't negotiate the bad. We go straight to fist, straight to chest. It's the chest bump, fist, words, knock down, drag out. I mean, me and Bobby didn't mess around. Me and Cece didn't mess around. Me and Ricky have had some ridiculous, I mean, almost knock down, drag out brawls. And then an hour later, we're like, you cool? Oh, I'm cool. Let's go grab something to drink. And we work out the set and go on like brothers do. But the vibe, the truth is that vibe when we hit the stage, as you know, you can't fake having a good time. You know, when you can see when people are trying to go through the motions, we're definitely having a good time. And I spend every minute saying, ladies and gentlemen, Cece, Bobby, Ricky, you know, and Ricky being out there, me and him have both had some pretty heavy, different medical things.
Yeah.
And Ricky's out there kicking butt, not only surviving, but thriving from cancer. And myself, I had a rough go. And out of that, really, what I should have been down for about 2 weeks, I missed one show in Nashville. And that was the biggest upset for me because I love Nashville. I lived there forever, have a beautiful ranch there. And the truth of the matter is I was bummed. But as that show was taking place, I was on an IV and some other stuff I won't go into, but just fixing up the diabetes and some other things were going on. And I felt really bummed out. I apologize to the Nashville fans profusely. But had I not stayed in the hospital, we would have been pulling out of the last 2 weeks of the tour.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because that was well documented when that happened, and there's nothing more important than your health. And of course, although we all feel like kids still, none of us are kids anymore. Nobody on that tour certainly either, except for Classless Act. They are kids, but outside the main four acts,
like they're awesome. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, but so you're okay though. That's all behind you, and that was just a setback from your diabetic stuff.
I just got checked on this little moment of the break because I had a couple solo shows, festivals, and the honest to God truth is I'm feeling 90% better, and I'm hoping by Boston I'm right there. And I still came out on that stage, and that heat, let me tell you something. We went to St. Louis. It was 103, 109 up at the front of the ramp. And the way I was feeling, I gave it I left every bit of energy I had out there, but thanks to good medical attention and in my case, grace of God and a lot of well wishes, it really got me through it. And Jacksonville, I'm going to tell you something, that crowd was insane and it was pouring rain. And Eddie, the best thing that happened to me was it got slightly cold and poured rain, and I was like, oh, this feels amazing. Actually, I embraced the rain. I know that sounds funny, but sometimes when that weather turned, I was like, oh, this feels great. And I just stayed out there, and the rain was cold on a hot night, and it felt good.
Just a couple more things, and I'll let you go, brother. I wanted to ask you about new music, whether with the solo band or with Poison. It's been a long time since Poison made new music, new song, new album. I had Ricky, Ricky called in a couple weeks ago because he heard us talking about Poison, and he was just checking in. It was very nice of him, and he said, I'd love to do more. I'd love to do a new record. I'd love to, be more active with Poison. I just don't know. Is there a side for you, Bret, that could ever see Poison? We know Leopard's out there. They're the one band on this tour that's promoting a new record. Is there a side to you that would like to make new music with Poison at any point?
I make new music every day. Like now as we're talking, just finishing up stuff with Pete that we're working on every day. And yes, without a doubt, here's what I would do with Poison. I'm having this openly because we've had this discussion. If we could all just pick out just one good song, make it amazing, make it fun like you're seeing on the stadium tour. What happens when you go in there and say, put together 12 songs and everyone, starts this, or I want it to be that, or let's just go in and make a really great rock song, a really good new, when I say this, new version of Nothing But a Good Time, a new Talk Dirty to Me or Cat Dragged In. and come out with the only expectation that it's just a great new song to play, I think we would have a blast doing it. And I know that with the songwriting of CeCe and Bobby, Ricky, and myself, we would write a good song. And then we just go out and have an amazing time playing that when we go out and do stuff hopefully in 25.
And last thing, and I'll let you go on this. This is August 1st, 2022. Training camps are open. How are you feeling about your Pittsburgh Steelers now that the camps have started?
I feel great. I'm just, you know me, that's a loaded question because I'm like, you got to believe it to receive it guy. I got to believe that this is the beginning of a new era. A friend of mine that's a minority owner in the Steelers and a neighbor, and they changed over Heinz Field. Everything's the beginning. Ben was amazing. I mean, he's an instant Hall of Famer and an incredible, incredible human being for the city and everything. But, yeah, I feel again, I got to believe, knowing training camp, looking at everything, I think we're going to kick ass.
You know, that's the beauty of the start of a new season for sports, because we're all winning the Super Bowl. In August, we're all winning this. I feel like my Giants are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm eternally optimistic.
That's you and me. We've talked about this at an Irish pub over many a drink. I'm eternally optimistic that we are going to the Super Bowl, and even if we're down in the season without a chance, I still believe out of some wild card miracle, we're going to the bowl.
That's it. I mean, and that by its nature is really what being a fan is, right? Always having that belief and pulling for your team through thick and thin. That's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Which, let me say this, I'm going to segue. I'm going to jump for a moment to the next thing. I want to make sure that the fans understand the gratitude I have, not just for my solo band and my good buddies. And when I say solo band, it's not a side project. I live for this and I love it. But for Pete and everybody in the band and Rob and Norman and, Proud Mary, I love them. But I also want to make sure that, and this includes Will, who's our keyboard player and incredible background vocals. I want to make sure that Bobby and Ricky and CeCe, they understand how grateful I am. I've got great friends. We've been through a lot together, and here we are this many years later getting to rock a stadium and share the stage with people I love. But last but not least, the definitely most important, the fans. They need to know this. I have a whole thing called Fan Appreciation Matters. It's called Welcome to the Fam. And I can't explain enough, when I'm out there down on my knees, smacking hands, doing all that stuff, it's really a true, sincere thank you for letting me live out my dream, and we can't do it without the fans. So thank you and thank them.
Well, it's definitely resonating because the fans are picking up on it, and they're loving it, and they're loving seeing Poison out there. And, of course, people wanting to go see your solo band, plenty of opportunities for that as well. Go to BretMichaels.com, and that's where you'll find all your information on everything Bret's got going on, from his books to TV stuff. I know there's an A&E doc coming soon. There are the solo shows, the Poison headline dates. I'll see you at the one in Tulsa, again, August 20th at the BOK, and the stadium tour resuming in Boston this coming weekend. So a lot of stuff going on, man. Get your rest in there too, buddy. We need to keep you healthy.
Nuts to that. I'm going to shoot this A&E doc. I got to shoot that. And then don't forget, Impractical Jokers, I got a gag with them. I'm not going to say another word. Don't kick me off.
Oh, I didn't know about this. You have a spot in that show?
I had them, all my buddies, I had them up on stage with us in Cincinnati. If the fans get a chance, just check out again, BretMichaels.com. You see Murr up there. You see Q. Sal couldn't be there. I just want to say the fans went crazy, and I've done the show once. We're about to do something off the record crazy again that I'm not supposed to mention, but I just did, so hopefully I'm still on it. And it's I'll leave it at that.
Well, those guys are New York guys. It's funny, I don't know them, but I have seen their show, and it's great stuff. So
I'm going to take you with me. You're going to love it. You're going to come down today. You're coming with me.
It sounds like a plan. Well, listen, buddy, I'll see you sooner than that. I'll see you in Tulsa on the 20th at the BOK, and then I'm definitely going to try to hit a stadium show. I think I might do the last one, which is where my second home is now in Vegas. So I hope to make that at Allegiant. I was just in Vegas the last 3 weeks. There's posters up all over the city for it. So I think that's the one I'm going to shoot for. But I'll be seeing you in Tulsa in a few weeks, and stay healthy. That's most important, and keep kicking ass out there.
Hey, thank you so much. I'll see you then in Tulsa. I'll final leave you at this one. Ready? The Tulsa show, I encourage fans. I mean, I know the show's almost sold out, but that show in the BOK, it is an incredible Poison. We really still given 1,000% effort into the audio-visual party we're about to put on, and encourage people, any of those standalone shows, see them because they're great.
Yeah, it's a great chance to see, like you said earlier, a little bit longer set, headline set, and hopefully more of those to come as well. All right, man. Well, listen, safe travels out there, okay? And if you need anything, you know where to get me.
Love you, my brother. Have a great day.
Love you too, man. Take care. Say hi to the guys.
You know it.
All right. There he goes, everybody. Bret Michaels, let the record show, the first ever guest in the history of Trunk Nation on our new channel, Faction Talk 103.